Welcome to the program. The war in Iran is no longer a military question. It is a political one. Because for better or worse, Trump's presidency, perhaps even his legacy, will be defined by the Iran conflict. In a moment, Bill O'Reilly on if Trump can reshape the narrative and win in Iran. Madeline Somerville, Lori Watkins, is the Democrats' new message, America needs to grow up. That doesn't sound like a winner. But first, our Why It Matters segment tonight. A lot happened this weekend. No Kings protesters took to the streets across America. Many sported communist flags. And yes, these were all the same people who wanted Chinese-like lockdowns during COVID. Get into that No Kings thing a little later. The 82nd Airborne Division arrived in the Middle East, giving the president an option for a ground attack in Iran. Congressman Tim Burchett, not exactly a rebellious voice in the GOP, made waves because he said boots on the ground in Iran would be a step too far.
I don't think there's a will for a ground conflict between America and Iran. I know a lot of Republicans don't support that, but I know all the Democrats won't support it.
Another thing that happened this weekend, I went to the dentist this morning. He asked me how long the war with Iran would go, and I said I had no idea. So there he was standing over me in the dentist chair, and he had this large needle that he was about to plunge into my jaw. But before he did that, he said his college-age son was very worried about the war in Iran. Why? Because of a draft. And perhaps the dentist wondered, should he be worried about a draft? The very word, a draft, conjures up eras of a different time. Chaos on college campuses, radical groups planting bombs outside buildings, general disdain for anyone in Washington. So with those standards, maybe this is not that different of a time after all. And now it seems once again there's a conversation in America about whether we are going to revive a draft. And to be fair, the administration has not ruled it out.
Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table.
No, boy. The answer's simple, of course. There isn't going to be a draft. I told my dentist that. In fact, the only person to seriously propose this so far is Deuce Bigalow. Comedian Rob Schneider posted on X, quote, "We once again must recommit ourselves to one nation under God, indivisible. Therefore, we must restore the military draft for our nation's young people." Still, it got me thinking. This conversation right now is terrible for President Trump. He won by capturing young men, mostly in college, some not. The last thing they want is a draft, and the idea of this war is terrifying to them. They make up much of the J.D. Vance isolationist wing of the Republican Party. Those are people President Trump needs to come out and vote Republican, to be excited to vote this November if he has any chance of keeping hold of the House of Representatives. These are largely rural, non-college educated whites who either served or knew people who served and perhaps died in Iraq and Afghanistan. For a long time, it looked like they represented the future of the Republican Party, but now it's clear the early 2000s neocon wing is alive and well. Remember, these are the two groups that Donald Trump brought together, the J.D. Vance crew and the Mark Levin crew.
He said no troops on the ground. I don't remember that in any campaign speech either. But why would we need troops on the ground? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and we wouldn't need 300,000 of them. It's this uranium, too. We've got to get the uranium.
We'll get into how you'd actually go get the uranium. You better believe that Democrats will do everything they can to exploit the growing divide in the GOP. That's exactly what Republicans do when there's a divide among Democrats. And we know that because how excited the folks over on MS Now are.
I do think that Democrats should not count these voters out as somebody that could be appealed to. Not all of them, probably not the guy in the America First hat at CPAC, but some of their counterparts who are young men, who are disaffected, who are anti-war.
The last 5 weeks have shown how extraordinary our military is. 11,000 targets struck, 150-plus Iranian vessels, their navy destroyed, 11,000 combat flights. Perhaps more stunning is how little the Iranians have been able to do in response. It's been an extraordinary military victory in every sense of the word. But now it's a political question, because Trump must either win or sell whatever ends up happening as a win. The stakes are that high.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.